Excuse me, this damn cold is kicking my behind. Speaking of doppelgangers of Madonna, let's get into Lady Gaga and let's talk about this stuff coming out about Abracadabra. I know some people was kind of mad at me because it was like, can't we just enjoy the damn song? I'm like, yeah, you can enjoy it, but apparently, here we go with people out here saying that the song sounds like a iconic 80s song. Now, I will say this. I did listen to the song, and I didn't hear what y'all were hearing. Am I losing my hearing or something? Am I losing my touch in regards to the gift that I have from, my music gift that I was born with, with the classic training of the piano and all the other mess? It's like, am I losing my gift? But apparently, a lot of people didn't hear it too. Or, as it was pointed out, some people didn't forget there's only 8 chords in a song. So everything's going to sound like, or things are going to sound similar. So I didn't hear it, but let's just get into the story of the song that they're actually talking about. So the dance song's melody of Abracadabra, which is, a big hit for Gaga right now. I don't know. People didn't really gravitate towards Disease. I like Disease, but Abracadabra is like the big hit for her. I think that's like the obvious thing because it's like it hits you on the head. It's that song. It's infectious. The chorus is even catchy. People even applauded me online because it was like, well, in my comments, it was like, thank you for dissecting the thing because I didn't even know what the hell she was saying in the chorus. I'm like, well, yeah, the dude, if you have Apple Music like I do, they pretty much have the lyrics there. So that's why I knew what she was saying. So the dance song's melody has been compared to Tears for Fears' Mad World, a slower paced lo-fi track released in 1982. Now, despite the differences, numerous listeners couldn't help but spot the similarities. TikToker Jared Jermaine pointed out the resemblance with video comparing the melodies, prompting mixed reaction from fans who agreed and disagreed with him. However, he had numerous responses from listeners noting the similarity was there. I knew I heard it somewhere, one wrote. Yeah, I heard the similarity. Gaga is just sped up. One other person said Gaga's melody is faster, but it's the same melody. Well, people need to realize, like we said, like when it comes to melody and stuff, there's only been so many different, I just don't understand like how some people feel like, um, when it comes down to it, that there's always going to be similarities when it comes to music. It doesn't necessarily mean that the person is literally ripping off an artist. And I don't think that's what she's doing here. So I'm trying to remember what exactly was the comment that we said. Now somebody said Abracadabra, the Steve Miller Band. um, because I didn't hear it. And what people need to realize, there's only 8 notes in music. So when you hear similarities, it's always going to be, oh, yeah, I heard that song somewhere, blah, 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 blah. So that's always going to be the thing that people are always going to, compare to. So the comparisons continued on Twitter, where one said Abracadabra slowly morphs in the Tears for Fears track every time they listen to it. Another said that they even started serving and dancing to Mad World after mistakenly thinking it was the new Gaga song. One person said, every time I get Gaga's Abracadabra in my head, it slowly morphs into Mad World by Gary Jules. Well, that's a different version. My bad. I started serving and dancing to Mad World because I thought it was Abracadabra by Gaga. I'm so stupid, another posted. Now, Jared's TikTok video comparing the 2 tracks made its way onto Twitter as well, with one agreeing the songs did have similarities. Now, not to be that DJ on TikTok, but I don't know if it's intentional that Abracadabra and Mad World sound alike. Another person said, I thought the exact same thing when I first heard Abracadabra. I thought it sounded like Mad World. Another wrote in response to a Twitter user who thought Jared was reaching. Well, I do feel like y'all are kind of reaching. And here's the thing. I listened to Tears for Fears, the song that he was comparing it to. And sidebar. And then I listened to Gaga's Abracadabra. I still didn't hear it. I'm like, what are y'all listening to? But when I was watching, but the funny enough, when I was hearing like Mad World, I want to give a shout out to Adam Lambert. I still love his version of Mad World that he performed on American Idol. That was like one of my best. I felt like the best renditions of what I've heard of that song. And I always say when you cover a song, if you could just take it and make your own, that's great. And Adam Lambert definitely did that. So I always think about whenever I hear Mad World, I just think about his version. So I'm trying to see what else. Oh, so in other words, so yeah, they're all pretty much saying the same thing. Am I the only one who hears Mad World and Abracadabra, blah, 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 so on and so forth? You know, the song is track number 2 on her upcoming album, Mayhem, which comes out in March. It's only a couple of weeks away from the album dropping. It's funny, they keep saying, well, it's her 8th studio album. So I will say this. I was like, is this the video? No, that's not it. Because I thought it was like the TikTok. So I will say this to wrap it up. I didn't immediately hear Mad World on the song, but I do know that she had to give Susie Sue a writing credit because Abracadabra apparently samples the melody of Spellbound by Susie and the Banshees. So if we're going to compare anything to anything, I think people should compare it to Spellbound by Susie and the Banshees, not Mad World, which is the getting the comparison. Because I don't know, I feel like it's a bit of a reach. I don't hear it. One of my, I even had people in my comments over on Facebook when I posted this. One said when I first heard it, I knew I had heard it before, and after an hour, I made a connection. I was going to post online, but didn't bother. Now I see I'm not the only one who heard it. It's like, yeah, y'all heard a sample. But y'all heard that sample from Miss Susie and the Banshees. You ain't hear it from the other person, or maybe you did hear it. But like I said, there's only 8 chord projections. So for people, everything is going to sound alike. There's nothing new under the sun. And if you do hear something that sounds similar to something you heard before, it could be highly coincidental, but not to rock the boat or whatever. It's like, you know what, not to get caught up in any legalities. I'm going to just give you all the writing credit. But you got to be careful with all that because a lot of people come out here claiming you doing a version of a song and they want a piece of the pie. So I say all this to say, have you heard the songs? Do you hear Tears for Fears, Mad World on Lady Gaga's Abracadabra? Regardless of where it sounds familiar, it's got that whole 80s synth pop dance vibe, whatever that I love. I love a synth. I love 80s music. I love that whole Euro dance type. Well, it's not really Euro dance. Euro dance would be like Rhythm as a Dance song. That's like Euro dance. Or Runaway from Real McCoy. That's Euro dance. But if we talking about synthy, like that dark pop sound, like a Susie and the Banshees and Soft Cell and a lot of those type of artists, definitely I could see that. And I'm sure she's taking a lot of influence from that sound and incorporated on Mayhem. She did it with the Fame Monster, Born This Way. A lot of those sounds sonically come from the old 80s dance and 90s dance type music. Well, more Chromatica is more 90s dance. So whatever your thoughts are on this situation, let me know in the comments down below.